Marcus Reed stepped off the transport shuttle, his engineering toolkit slung over his shoulder as he gazed up at the towering residential complex of Neo-Singapore Colony. The massive structure stretched toward the artificial sky, its bioluminescent panels casting an ethereal glow across the diverse crowd of humans and aliens moving through the plaza below. At 28, Marcus had seen plenty of alien species during his work on various space stations, but living among them would be different. The housing coordinator had assured him the mixed species complex was perfectly safe, though she'd mentioned something about seasonal considerations that he'd dismissed at the time. His apartment on the 15th floor was modest but comfortable, with large windows overlooking the colony's central gardens. As he unpacked his belongings, a soft melodic humming drifted through the walls from the neighboring unit. The sound was unlike anything he'd heard before, beautiful yet somehow primal, sending an unexpected shiver down his spine. A gentle knock interrupted his thoughts. Marcus opened the door to find the most striking woman he'd ever encountered. She stood nearly 6 feet tall, with luminescent silver skin that seemed to shimmer with an inner light. Her hair cascaded in waves of deep purple, and her eyes were the color of amethyst, large and expressive. Most remarkably, delicate crystalline formations traced patterns along her temples and collarbone, pulsing with a soft lavender glow. "I am Zara Kithian," she said, her voice carrying a musical quality that made his name sound like poetry. "I wanted to welcome you to our floor. I hope my activities haven't been too disruptive." Marcus found himself momentarily speechless. "Not at all. I'm Marcus." "That humming is actually quite beautiful." Something flickered in her eyes, a mix of embarrassment and something deeper. "You should know I'm Veilthrin. We experience certain seasonal changes. The next few weeks might be challenging for both of us." Before he could ask what she meant, Zara's crystalline markings suddenly flared brighter. Her breathing quickened, and she took a step closer, her exotic scent filling his senses with notes of jasmine and something uniquely alien that made his pulse race. "I should go," she whispered, her voice husky. But she didn't move, and neither did he. The air between them crackled with an energy Marcus didn't understand but couldn't resist. The next morning, Marcus found a datapad outside his door containing information about Veilthrin physiology. As he read, his understanding of Zara's situation became clear and concerning. Her species experienced an intense biological cycle every few years, during which their emotional and physical needs became overwhelming. That evening, he heard sounds through the wall that made him deeply concerned for her well-being. Against his better judgment, he knocked on her door. Zara answered, her usually perfect appearance disheveled. Her crystalline markings pulsed erratically, and a light sheen of perspiration covered her luminous skin. "Marcus, you shouldn't be here. It's not safe." "Safe from what?" he asked, stepping closer despite her warning. "From me," she breathed, her amethyst eyes dilating. "During the season, we become intense. Our need for connection becomes almost unbearable. I don't want to hurt you or force something you're not ready for." Marcus reached out, gently touching one of her glowing markings. The crystal was warm under his fingers, and Zara gasped at the contact, her whole body trembling. "What if I want to help you through this?" "You don't understand," she whispered, but leaned into his touch. "When we bond during the season, it creates a connection that goes beyond the physical. Your species might not be compatible with such intensity." Instead of backing away, Marcus cupped her face in his hands. "Then teach me. Show me what you need." Zara's resolve crumbled. She pressed herself against him, her skin radiating heat that seemed to seep into his bones. "The season makes us desperate for touch, for connection. Without it, we can become ill, even dangerous." Marcus pulled her closer, feeling the rapid beat of her heart against his chest. Her crystalline markings grew brighter, casting dancing shadows on the walls. "Then let me be here for you. We'll figure this out together." She looked up at him with wonder and need. "Are you certain? Once we begin, there's no going back." His answer was to kiss her, soft at first, then deeper as she responded with surprising passion. 3 days into helping Zara through her season, Marcus discovered that human adaptability extended far beyond what he'd imagined. Her alien nature didn't frighten him. It fascinated and aroused him in ways he'd never experienced. Zara's apartment had become their sanctuary. The walls pulsed with bioluminescent patterns that responded to her emotional state, creating an ever-changing light show of their growing intimacy. Her crystalline markings now glowed constantly when he was near, and she'd explained that this was a sign of deep bonding. In our culture, she murmured against his neck as they lay intertwined on her bed, the markings only respond this way to a true mate. I never expected it to happen with someone from another species. Marcus traced the glowing patterns along her shoulder, marveling at how they pulsed under his touch. What does that mean for us? It means you're not just helping me survive the season, Zara said, her voice filled with emotion. You're becoming part of me. The bond we're forming is permanent. He should have been frightened by the implications, but instead, he felt a deep sense of rightness. Good, he whispered, pulling her closer, because I can't imagine being anywhere else. Their lovemaking had evolved beyond mere physical relief for her condition. Each touch, each kiss, each moment of connection seemed to weave them together. More tightly, Marcus found himself changing too, becoming more attuned to her needs, more sensitive to the subtle shifts in her bioluminescent displays. But their growing bond hadn't gone unnoticed. That afternoon, Marcus's door chimed with an official visit from Colony Administrator Hendricks, a stern-faced man who made no effort to hide his disapproval. Mr. Reed, we've received complaints about unusual energy readings from this floor. Some residents are concerned about the nature of your relationship with the Veilthrin. Aku stood firm. Aku studama. My relationship with Zara is perfectly legal and consensual, perhaps. But interspecies bonding during a Veilthrin season is unprecedented. We don't know what effects it might have on the colony's social structure or on you personally. The only effect it's having, Marcus replied, is making us both happier than we've ever been. Hendricks frowned. This isn't over, Mr. Reed. The colony's safety comes first. The pressure from the colony administration intensified over the following days. Marcus received formal warnings about unregulated biological experimentation and threats of reassignment to another sector. Meanwhile, Zara faced her own challenges from the small Veilthrin community, who viewed her bonding with a human as a dangerous precedent. They want to separate us, Zara told him one evening, her markings dim with distress. The Veilthrin Council believes our bond is unnatural, that it could lead to genetic complications if others follow our example. Marcus held her trembling, feeling the weight of their situation.
How?
And what do you believe? I believe, she said, her voice growing stronger, that love doesn't recognize species boundaries. What we have is real, Marcus. It's not some biological accident or seasonal madness. I've never felt more myself than when I'm with you. As if to prove her point, her crystalline markings suddenly blazed with brilliant light, so bright that Marcus had to close his eyes. When the glow faded, he saw that the patterns had changed, forming intricate designs he'd never seen before. Dot 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 dot. What just happened? He breathed. Zara stared at her reflection in wonder. The bonding is complete. These markings, they're permanent now. They'll glow for you and only you for the rest of my life. The beauty and finality of it took his breath away. But their moment of joy was interrupted by an urgent message on both their communicators. The Colony Council was convening an emergency session to address their relationship at the hearing. They faced a panel of human and alien officials, all looking deeply concerned. Administrator Hendricks presented his case against their union, citing potential health risks and social disruption. This precedent could lead to chaos, he argued. Can't have humans and aliens forming these intense bonds without proper study and regulation. When it was Marcus's turn to speak, he stood and took Zara's hand. With respect, Council, you're treating our love like it's a disease. Zara's season didn't make us fall in love, just gave us the opportunity to discover what was already there. Zara rose beside him, her markings glowing softly. Our bond has made me stronger, not weaker. It has taught me that connection transcends biology. The Council's decision took 3 agonizing days. During that time, Marcus and Zara received unexpected support from fellow residents who had witnessed their relationship firsthand. Humans and aliens alike testified to the positive changes they'd observed in the couple. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, the colony xenobiologist, provided crucial evidence. My studies show that their bonding has actually stabilized Ms. Kithian's biological cycles and enhanced Mr. Reed's immune system. Far from being harmful, their union appears to be mutually beneficial. When the council finally reconvened, Chief Administrator Chen delivered the verdict. After careful consideration, we find that the Red Kithian bond, while unprecedented, poses no threat to colony safety. Furthermore, we recognize that love and companionship are fundamental rights that transcend species boundaries. The chamber erupted in applause as Marcus and Zara embraced, her markings blazing with joy. But Chen wasn't finished. However, we also established new protocols for interspecies relationships during Veilthrin seasons. Couples must undergo counseling and medical monitoring to ensure the well-being of both parties. Marcus nodded readily. We accept those conditions gladly. 6 months later, their apartment had become a symbol of successful human-alien integration. Zara's season had ended, but her bond markings remained as bright as ever. She'd taken a position as a cultural liaison, helping other mixed couples navigate their relationships. Marcus had been promoted to chief engineer, its enhanced intuition and sensitivity making him invaluable in understanding alien technology. Their love story had inspired a wave of interspecies relationships throughout the colony. "Do you ever regret it?" Zara asked one evening as they watched the artificial sunset from their balcony. "Giving up your simple human life for all this complexity?" Marcus pulled her close, watching her markings pulse in rhythm with his heartbeat. "Never. You didn't just show me your world, Zara. You showed me that love really can transcend any boundary," she smiled, her crystalline features radiant with happiness. "Then we've both learned something wonderful. Sometimes the most beautiful connections happen when we're brave enough to embrace the unknown." As night fell over Neo-Singapore colony, their love continued to shine like a beacon, proving that the heart recognizes no borders among the stars.